Well, we're down to the last couple days of 2020, so we're going to take a look back at what turned out to be a very different year. We had several major road trips planned, but then COVID-19 happened. We had to abandon our first road trip on the East Coast about a third of the way in. We got to visit with Chris and Christina in Florida, but had to end our trip before we got to North Carolina to visit with Carl and his future wife, Jenna. We had also planned on driving up to Pittsburgh to see Matt and Jennifer and those adorable grandkids. On a positive note, now all of the kids and grandkids live within driving distance of each other. This is our first full year of retirement, so we consider this our rookie season. We aren't yet playing up to our full potential. We try and get outside and exercise every day. For exercise, walking is what we do most, and while we would prefer to walk somewhere we haven't walked before, the weather and number of daylight hours doesn't always permit it. My Fitbit app says we walked 5,602,000 steps in 2020, so our goal isn't necessarily to increase that number, but instead to either convert some of those miles to hikes or walk in places we haven't explored before. We had planned on trying to ride the Gap Trail from Pittsburgh to Washington, D.C. in the fall, and had been training for that ride since last summer. After returning early from our East Coast trip in the spring, we were a little discouraged and didn't ride much for a while. But by May, we started to get back into it. We finished replacing all the flooring in 2019, but didn't get around to installing the hardwood stairs until spring of this year. We had a pretty long list of home and garden projects, but with travel restrictions, we finished all of them. They didn't open up the kayak rentals until late in the summer, but kayaking is something we really enjoy and hope to do a lot more of in 2021, even if it means buying our own kayaks. When the parks started to open back up in May, we decided to try and do as many road trips as we could within a radius of 200 miles so that we could be back home by the end of the day and sleep in our own beds at night. At first, it was a little disappointing because it's kind of limiting when you have to get back home each night, But then it became a challenge to try and find places to go within that radius. One of the few benefits of the pandemic was that most of the places we traveled were not crowded at all. In fact, on this ferry, there were only 3 other people on the passenger deck. Many of the places that we went on our road trips warranted more exploration, and we're looking forward to the day when we can spend 2 or 3 days checking them out. One of the nice things about living where we do is that the scenery is so varied, and on the rare occasion it gets too hot, we can always go to the mountains or the water for cooler temperatures. We hiked some of our favorite trails, but also managed to find more than a few hikes that we've never been on. Foraging has changed the whole hiking experience. We now spend a lot more time looking at what kinds of things are growing in the area we are hiking. In August, we started hiking in places that we might find huckleberries. This began our attempts to combine hiking and beach exploring with foraging. First huckleberries, then blackberries and salal berries, then razor clams, and finally chanterelle mushrooms. It seems like hunting mushrooms is much like hunting deer or elk. You know you are in a good area for success when you can hear gunshots. Be very, very quiet. We're hunting chanterelles. We have a much bigger list of things to forage for next year. We went on 8 mushroom foraging trips and only found chanterelles at 2. Like Thomas Edison, we prefer to say we didn't fail 6 times. We succeeded in identifying 6 forests that don't have chanterelles. It looks like we will have to get an earlier start on these next year. All the ones we found were overripe, like this one. This is how we had to visit my parents. Did they say 6 feet or 6 floors? I can't remember. When Harborview and UW Medicine set up a COVID testing center at Beard's Church in Auburn back in July, the church also became a distribution center for the President's Free Food Program. So Beard started volunteering there every week, handing out food to local families in need. Beard has been making homemade sourdough bread. We called her first attempts communion bread because they were so holy. They tasted good, but a lot of the butter ended up on your hands. Now, she cranks out professional artisan bread. We managed to find ways to have a good time, and we accomplished a lot. But the biggest thing that the quarantine made us realize was how much we missed seeing our friends and family. Here's hoping that 2021 gives us the opportunity to connect and reconnect with everyone. Water to the left of us, water to the right of us, and here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Okay, let me try it again.
And let me say that line.
Water to the left of us, water to the right of us.
And here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Now, first I want you to look in there, and I want to see if the ball's in the picture.
Oh. No. You want the ball in the picture?
Yes.
Then you have to hold it out that way.
That way?
Yeah.
With all the big framing, you can't see the ball?
Yeah, now I can see it. You were blocking it before.
Okay.
It's right behind you. And the sun is beating down.
Can you see this?
Kinda. I don't see your hand.
That's okay, because I want you to stand here. I want to make sure you're in the picture.
Yep.
So, here I am with the old ball and chain. I bet you thought I meant Beard, but I was talking about that. Alexa, GoPro, stop recording.